News alert from Sky News. Vatican altar purified after naked man protested the Ukrainian war.
So, of course, obviously we understand the severity of what's happening in Ukraine, children dying, innocent people. We pray for peace, work towards peace. So this guy got up on the altar at St. Peter's, stripped naked, and had written, about something about the children of Ukraine. And so actually the church is the priest in charge of St. Peter's Basilica had a reconsecration, an anti-desecration prayer of that altar. So yeah, so just Vatican, Ukraine, naked man, all like in one headline. It's almost like too much for people to.
Yeah, well, I think obviously it's meant to for people to click on because they want to see what happened at the Vatican.
Right.
And I was a tour guide for the Vatican, so I'm sure that when I worked for Centro San Lorenzo, the Vatican Youth Center. So if I'd seen a naked man on top of one of the altars, I'd have been a little bit disturbed, as well as anyone who was leading. But I think that also part of it, obviously, there's to protest, especially against children who are dying as a consequence of war. But then there's also, we have to recognize there's a time and there's a place to make reasonable as well as outrage, to express our outrage and to try to garner public support. But I think that I'm not sure who this man was, but I think that it is also recognizing that we're part of a wider world and respect for the dignity of places and sacred spaces. Just imagine for a moment what would have happened had this happened in a non-Catholic temple or church. If this had happened in a mosque, or if this had happened in a Hindu temple in India, or if this had happened there's all these religions around the world. This would be it's a severe act of desecration and sacrilege, which is why the man was escorted out. We didn't stone him.
Right, exactly.
But it's still it's a troubling. To me, it's also a sign of a troubling lack of awareness of the sacredness of space. Places are sacred because people gather there to pray and to worship. And yes, it is important that part of that is a dialogue with expressing our outrage over things, but there has to be a mutual respect, even when we're expressing outrage, because if we don't have that, things just devolve into chaos.
And the fact too that we treat buildings in a sense as a sacramental reality. So they're sanctified, they're blessed, they're kind of baptized basically, especially a church. And so the bishop there was able to re-sacralize that with that massive reparation. So we pray for obviously for this man and for all those involved, but also too that we can have greater respect for the dignity of these places, and also, but even more importantly, the dignity of the human person.